All right, guys, let's go over what's going on right now. I am out of it. I literally just woke up. So, what a wild month. Anyways, there's optimism's back, and I'm going to talk about why. Before I do so, come to ztrades.net, check out the terms and conditions page up here. If you don't agree to it and our disclaimer, get out of here. Don't watch the video. Don't join the Discord. If you do, feel free to join us down here. I want to talk about, Discord's free to join. I'd like to talk about the why I'm optimistic and everybody's optimistic. We kind of knew this was coming in September. We knew the Fed wasn't going to get to 2%. They were going to cut prior, just like in the 80s. They wanted to get it to 2 or 3, and they just were like 4.5, whatever, right? And they cut. But let's go into what I'm looking at and what liked that. Because there's a lot of stuff that really like that. So we're going to be doing some charting on TrendSpider here because it's a little bit cleaner. I will move to TOS for some of the securities that I cannot pull up on there. But what's the main thing I'm looking at? The moonshot that I'm looking at? Well, first off, it's TLT. I just started a retirement account. A solo 401k, which for some reason nobody knows about what that is, including CPAs. I don't know why. No one can help me. You're all on your own. And the information out there is kind of like, it's not there. So you got to kind of make it on your own and submit it to the IRS and hope that they accept it. And if they don't, then you got to change it. But anyways, I have a whopping amount of money, like a lot in TLT, and I've been in TLT right here off that. I know I've said this, I sound like a parrot and I'm repeating it over and over and over, but let me go ahead and cover all the interest rate sensitive stuff, and we're going to move into some of the other securities I'm looking at and the strategies that I'm looking at. That bullish divergence, 2002 lows, right? I added there. When it started to peel back, I've been adding over here, right around there, because I knew it was going to break. I got to fix that a little bit there. I knew it was going to break, which it did. It's broken. I'm looking for, somewhere around 110. Some are saying that we could come up to 130. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But 110 would be great for me, between 110 and 120. Let's go ahead and look at, give me a second. Sorry, guys. Let's go ahead and look at Triple T and what position I have here. So before we went into quantitative easing or quantitative tightening back in late 2021, 2022, where is it? There it is. Let's see if we can see this on a monthly. Yes, we can. TLT had a what? It had a Head and Shoulders. How do we'll use this. Left shoulder. Head right here, okay, right shoulder, collapse. So I went in TTT, Tango, Tango, Tango. That is a inverse TLT. This is TLT. It was an inverse TLT. Let's go ahead and make the logo a bit bigger here. If I can find out, there's show watermark. We'll make it faded a little bit. There we go. So I was like, I need to load up on puts, and we're going into quantitative tightening. Long-term bonds, especially Treasury strips, 25-year plus, they are very interest rate sensitive. They dip hard, they rip hard. That's ZROZ if you guys are interested in that for the upside. But before I get into that, before I come over to ZROZ, which this could have, that was 63 with a high of 201. My gosh. Let's go back to TLT. I saw this Head and Shoulders. Treasuries, the longer term the bond, the more sensitive it is to rate hikes and rate cuts. Well, I saw this Head and Shoulders. I had puts, and I was like, there's an inverse TLT. And this is when we raise interest rates. If we raise interest rates, the face value of TLT is going to drop, but the yield is going to go up. Face value down, yield up. We cut interest rates. Let me get in the camera here. Yield goes down, face value goes up. So it's very easy. There's no president. There's no earnings. There's no bad management. it literally does what Powell says, and Powell just gave you the study guide. Hey guys, we're going to have a test around September through November, so let's go over a study guide, right? That's what he just did. He told you where it's going to go, and it just goes there when he does what he needs to do, which is why it's like some of the easiest money that you can make, in my opinion, anywhere. Oh no, what if they don't cut inflation numbers? Like I told everyone, the inflation numbers don't matter. I argued with, obviously if they were sky high, but it's not at 2%. They're not going to cut any time below 2% unless it's at 2%. Wrong! They're cutting before the elections. I've been saying this for 2 years. Nobody agreed with me anywhere. What are they about to do? They're about to cut. You don't listen to what the Fed says. You read it between the lines, right? What do we have here? And all those loan officers that you guys in Z-Trades, you all know more than the general population. All of us do. We have the information. We know what's going on. Everybody else out there that's listening to, like, look at the news we get. Look at the normie news. You know, all the major news networks, those are all trash. That's not, oh, you know, they're going to bring some expert on to talk about rate. It's all just smoke and mirrors. They're just it's like, you know, it's just like listening to a broken record. Anyways, let's take a look at this. I'm still out of it, guys. It's hard for me to find words to speak. I just woke up. Bear with me. I don't need to be going on rants when I'm not fully mentally there yet. But anyways, let's take a look at TTT here. This is the short, right, of TLT. Here's when we went into Quanta in 2020. We cut interest rates to like all-time lows. Look how hard this thing plummeted because TLT went up. Then, what did we do late 2021? Hey, guys, we're going to be raising interest rates. So TLT fell. The inverse TLT, which is TTT, went up. Remember that head and shoulders that we had on TLT I just showed you before quantitative tightening? What do we have on TTT now? The inverse on the monthly. I short sold this over in here, right over in here. I did not know there was a head and shoulders till I was driving yesterday and I was on Robinhood and I was like, whoa, hey, what's that? I'm short on this. Am I going to buy options? Absolutely not. Short selling is better, in my opinion. You got to have a lot more money. If you're going to buy options, it's got to be in the money, like the 60s, for as far out as possible. And it's going to be very hard to get a fill. And it rots aggressively, and options have expirations and there's theta. Well, that's why I'm short selling. I just literally hit sell, short sell. That's it. And I profit off it going down. It's 3x leverage. I expect this thing to at least come to about 37 bucks in this range, if not, you know, somewhere over in here. So I expect that it's definitely not going to plummet this hard, but it'd be nice to have it around 49, you know, into 37, 40. You know, this would be a great area right here. It's kind of hard to judge where it's going to go because it's leveraged, and so support and resistances they really don't work. I'm basically looking for it to fall. You can't really do support and resistance on leverage funds. You can, but they only work to an extent. You know, to the upside they work, downside they don't. They'll plunge through all of it because it rots. There's rot connected to it. So it basically only goes down. Like an inverse of the market, like UVXY or something like that. But this is something I'm short selling. Easy money. TLT again, guys. I'm in this. That's the monthly, and I'm not selling it, and I cannot wait. Weekly looks clean. RSI is trending up. Would love to see it snap that EMA. I'm pretty sure that's the 50 I have here. I haven't been on TrendSpider in a while, but it would be nice to see 120. You know, between 107 and 120 would be fantastic. I do not see it going above 130. It depends on who we get in office. One candidate is going to take care of inflation from the back end to get it under control, which means we can cut interest rates through the roof. The other one isn't going to be really doing anything that other than just firing money at problems, which is inflationary, which means we don't get as many rate cuts. I'm not being politically biased. That's literally what they're going to do. I've looked at their policy, and I know what the outcome would be on both sides because I understand that stuff. Let's take a look at UPST. So to just kind of say in the middle, maybe 3 to 4 rate cuts at a 1/4 point a pop, right? Maybe a full point down on the Fed rate. So mortgages will be in the high 4s, low 5s. Upstart, let's take a look at this. I mean, this is wild. If you look at this chart right here, you know what's funny? It's like this one, right? You all always see this one. A lot of stocks have this that are interest rate sensitive that probably shouldn't be public. Teladoc being one of them. But look at Upstart and Affirm. All those companies, they make money off lending money. The cheaper money is, generally the more they're going to make is more people are going to borrow AFRM. Right? It's pretty much got the same setup. And even in late 2023, we're at 53 bucks. So this thing could get some power. I like Upstart a lot. I really like Upstart. This thing could go nuts. And in 2023, this was at 70 bucks. So if we're at, and we weren't cutting interest rates. So if we're actually going to cut interest rates, I mean, this thing could go absolutely Looney Tunes. Could come all the way up into this area. I know that sounds crazy, but it easily could. We've got strong resistance right at that 75 area. You can see where we have resistance there. But would also love to see it come up to here in between 140 and 150. I really think it could do that. Will it hit this high? I don't think so. That was all just parabolic optimism during post-COVID with low interest rates. Let's take a look at Lemonade. Lemonade, this thing could get some steam as well. This is just like the same chart, right? A pop-up, down, trying to survive, and a plummet. It's like the same thing, right? Wild. But I really need to see their financials and see how they're doing. We've got a massive gap fill up to 22 here. Where was I when this was at 14 bucks? We're going to swap over to TOS now. We're going to take a look at what's going on the crypto side. So long TLT, short selling TTT, inverse TLT, which is 3x leverage. Upstart, already in that. I called that like a month ago, guys. What else? Affirm, I really don't like the setup. Possibly Lemonade after I look at the financials. So there's 5 there. Outside of that, let's look at crypto-related stuff. Everyone's showing Fibonacci's where Bitcoin's going to go. It's going to return to no. Like I told everybody, your technical analysis to the downside and upside just flies straight. The upside, it's definitely going to fight here, big time, right here and right here, obviously. But all your stupid downside TA, like it's an equity and it's going to return to this low and bounce. I mean, you guys haven't been through this before. You just simply don't understand Bitcoin. We're going to do a separate video where I'm really going to dive into crypto and some of there's only 3 things that I'm looking at, right? And I'll discuss what those 3 are. And the Ethereum ETF, Solana possible ETF coming, right? You can straight up just buy Ethereum through Grayscale now. They have like a mini trust. That way you don't have to worry about everything getting, your portfolio getting hacked or anything like that, or nothing. When have you heard anybody hacking into a portfolio? But we'll get into that another time. Let's focus on Bitcoin now, and we'll leave it there. Look how, I don't know why open interest pops up. Why does that keep popping up? That looks so ugly. Let me get off a noisy daily. Oh God. Okay, better. So yeah, we're going to struggle around the 74 in Bitcoin futures, and we're going to struggle right there. Does it matter? Is it going to return to here? No, it's not. All of you who don't understand crypto and are using charting that you use on equities, stop, right? Just stop. Here's how you do it. Okay, well, I'm going to sell it here, and then when it drops down to here, I'm going to rebuy it. It doesn't work. Guys, I've been through this before. I had that dumb mentality back in my first halving, 2016 to 2017. You know, I would sell it on pops and be like, okay, when it comes down, I'll rebuy it, and then it wouldn't, and it would leg up, and then I'd buy the top, it would come down, then I'd sell it, then it'd leg up. I didn't know what I was doing. Right? Here's what you do. About a year before the halving, you snag it, you don't care where it is, and you shut up. Shut your mouth. Don't look at it. Make fun of people who claim it's not going to go. Laugh at them and tell them watch. And when it goes, throw it in their face in a humorous manner, not being nasty, right? And explain to them, help educate them on how this is going to work. Now, the reason why I'm so bullish is not just because it's Bitcoin and it only goes up. It absolutely does not only go up. It goes in 4-year cycles where it plummets horribly. And if you hold it, why? Why hold it? You could sell it, start exiting at the top, and rebuy it in between cycles. Those cycles are always going to be there, at least till 2036, till we have 1 Bitcoin left to mine. Then the cycle is probably gone at that point. But anyways, look at what happened today on rate cut talks. Right? This is initially 1, 2, 3 reversal on Powell's comments. And well, what they were talking about at Jackson Hole, right? That 2% inflation is unrealistic, like I said. And what a shocker. We're not getting a 2 unless there was some type of 08 crash and you had someone else in office that would take care of everything on the back end for shelter and all that and kicking Wall Street out the market and et cetera, et cetera. But anyways, look at this on rate cut talks. It went nuts. I mean, it literally went parabolic here, just vertical up. So we feel a little gap there. Not that Bitcoin works like that. But I expect this to keep going. So I'm watching blockchain-related stocks. Now, what about the companies that are... So I'm getting off track here. Again, I just woke up, guys. So when they cut interest, what happened back in 2020? Let's just go back to there. And we're going to pull up equities because this is about equities. But we have to chart Bitcoin. Look at this right here. That suck up. That is so bullish. What happened over here when we went from... It actually saw 3,200. It's showing 40-something over here. 4,400. What happened? We cut interest rates, didn't we? And did it go parabolic? Yup. It went parabolic. That's for sure. 3,200 to 69,000. Why wouldn't you try to learn something like this, those of you that are all equity and turn your nose up at this stuff? Yeah, meme coins have nothing to do with this. This is completely separate. They're not even remotely related at all in the slightest bit. I can understand why you wouldn't want to trade those, right? They're very toxic. We have a cup and handle here. Look at that beautiful handle right there. Are you guys kidding me? Look at the setup. Oh, but your fibs say that... No, it's not happening. And if it does, then you buy more. That's what I'm doing. I'm buying more if it falls. That's cool. Oh, am I going to sell it and miss out and it's going to pop and then buy that? No. Again, I've went through that. So what happened when we cut interest rates? It went nuts. What am I looking at? We got a cup and handle. We're going to cut interest rates. Look how it reacted off that. It reacted better than Upstart did. We can see how Affirm acted on those comments. Let's take a look at that. Look at that on a monthly. Affirm, it liked that quite a bit. Gold liked that. TLT kind of moved on that. TTT really didn't do anything. This is why when you see a stock like this with candles like that, you know the spreads on the options, the bid's going to be 0. The mid is who knows, you know, and like flip a quarter, heads or tails, and the ask is like $10, you know, if you see something like that. What about equities that borrow money to buy Bitcoin mining equipment who have a lot of debt? Wow. Mara really liked that news. A lot. A lot of us here in Z-Trades have been in Mara since August of 2023. And I've had to deal with everybody complaining in the crypto chat room. And it's like, you don't have to be in it. I'm just telling you what I'm in. You don't have to be in it. And they spike chase, you know, thinking they're going to miss out. But it opened at 16 just a couple days ago. It was a lot lower than that We were down to $13. This thing looks like it can just... I love these big moves like this. Looking at it on a weekly here. We may need to switch over to TrendSpider. Let's take a look at Mara over here. Maybe a bit better. Yeah, look at that. There was a gap fill right here. It finally filled that gap, which it almost did right there. That's so funny. And it filled it to the cent. Like to the cent. From a gap we had back in December of 2023. It tried to fill it over here and it bounced. We finally filled that gap. We'll look at that. Okay. So we could reject there, which would be great because I'd love this to pop back down right to around the 15 mark so I could add more, sell some more cash secured puts on this. But this is a miner. They just ended up buying, I can't remember how much. They put they bought 2.5 million more Bitcoin, or was it 250 million? Fact check me on that, guys. Wolf. Let's see what's going on with them. This company freaking moves, and I mean it moves. Let's take a look at Wolf and how well it liked. Look at that, guys. It looks like they've diluted the hell out of it. That's dilution right there from what it looks like. But let's take a look at yesterday to see how well. Didn't really do too much. I don't know about it reaching these highs. I'd have to go to Dilution Tracker, which is a great tool to use, and see how hard they've diluted it, right? Because that's going to affect where it's going to go. But we can easily see 6.5. I do know that. Wolf could really, really go. Let's take a look at BTBT. Okay. These are some of the miners I'm looking at. That doesn't look bad. That almost looks like a cup and handle there. Let's take a look at BTBT. Let's go to a monthly. That's not going to tell me much. Let's go back to a weekly. That's not a cup and handle because the handle isn't supposed to drop more than 50% of the cup length, and it has. Regardless, doesn't mean it's not going to go. Again, I have to check the dilution to see how much they've diluted since then. Could it see 10 or 11 bucks? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's the halving. Look at that. I don't even know when I charted this. I must have charted this a long time ago. We had the Bitcoin halving right here. This thing was at $1.18 and it saw freaking $32. So those of you that don't know anything about blockchain or Bitcoin or anything like that, and you don't want to touch anything crypto related, you should. When you can get moves like that. Look at that month. We just went vertical from 6 to 24 in a month. The following month, we had a reversal candle. If you look at that, clear as day sign to go ahead and probably take everything. Look at that bounce right there. Beautiful. I love seeing charting like this with a big run up. I would have been out all right there. But it's funny, that chart almost did the same thing. A sloppier version of that. What else do we got? BITF. Let's take a look at BITF. Garbage. What about Riot? Riot's one I'll be looking at. They've got... Looks like that broke out. That failed. Yep. Doesn't matter. Bitcoin goes Looney Tunes. This thing will go. Riot had borrowed a lot of money. They started a big, some gigawatt factory south of Dallas. I think it was south of Dallas. So they've borrowed a lot of money and they've done share offerings at the end of last year, which seems like it was 2 seconds ago, and it's almost been a year again, guys. But so that's hurt the stock price. Could it go nuts? Absolutely. But you can tell each halving, it went higher. Here's this halving over here. I remember trading this. I didn't know anything about it at the time back in 2017. It went from $2 to 46 over here after COVID. Obviously, that's artificially way too low because of the drop, 73 cents to $80, right? Will it see a higher high this time? Well, it depends on if they own more Bitcoin, because a lot of these companies own Bitcoin. If they own Bitcoin, Bitcoin goes up double or triple, the value of the company goes up, and it can go up higher than it should. It can become overvalued, right? If it broke this, I don't know if it will, because they've done a lot of share offerings, all that. I don't know. I don't know if it could. Could it easily see 46? Absolutely, in my opinion. Doesn't mean it will, but in my opinion, it could. Now, if they own more Bitcoin than they did here, we're going to have to look at the financials and the balance sheet, everything like that. Then it could easily see higher. It could end up going to 100. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. What was the last one? MSTR. Now, we do know they're doing that. It's almost like alchemy or arbitrage in a way. They're borrowing money through, they're doing share offerings, then using that money to buy Bitcoin, which causes the price of the stock to go higher. Here's this having the last Bitcoin cycle. $10 split adjusted to 132, right? And the people that aren't into crypto hate it. And it's like, why? Why wouldn't you learn this? How to make money on this? Right? I don't know why the equity-only people hate it so much when it's the easiest to predict opportunity in existence next to bonds. Crypto and bonds. When we're going through a quantitative tightening and quantitative easing, you focus on bonds. It's the most simplest way to make money, in my opinion. Right? It does what the Fed says they're going to do, and it does it. Crypto moves in a 4-year cycle. Ready? So it started to run in 2020. Here's 2024. About a year prior is where I add. I let it drop. It goes bearish. You hold it, and then it goes down. Oh, I should have just waited, and then I bought there. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't buy. All that noise, you just add, is what I do. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you what I do. And it rips, and you make money. And I was in late because I forgot about it. But last year, $14, and we had a high of 200. The halving's priced in. No more stuff has happened this time where we have politicians trying to add it to the Fed balance sheet. Are you serious? To help, well, some politicians are. The others are just going to fiat-based print money to solve the problems that printing money caused, right? Will be the antidote to the solution to the problem we caused. So that it just doesn't, people just don't understand how the monetary system works and all this. But anyways, this thing could go nuts. MSTR looks like it wants to go absolutely parabolic. Just absolutely nuts. Look at this range it's trading in right now. I don't even know how you would chart this. What the hell is that, right? At the end of the day, though, it's trading in a range. And I expect MSTR to probably go to like $400, $300 to $400, because they own a lot more Bitcoin. Depends on how hard Bitcoin's going to run. So, and I will start taking profits, and I'll be out completely. So this is all the interest rate sensitive stocks equities that I'm looking at, that I'm talking about. MSTR, not so much. What could run the hardest is companies that have high debt that can refinance, right, and get loans at a cheaper price, at a lower interest rate, excuse me, that own a lot of Bitcoin that can become overvalued. Bitcoin is only going to move itself. Equities that own it can move harder than Bitcoin and become overvalued, like Mara, right? Main one I'm looking at. We could easily see 33. I really think that we could see 44. It would be nice to see, the high 50s. Could we see this high? I really think we could go higher than 80. I honestly think that we could possibly go over $100. There's a hedge fund out there that gave it a PT of 125. That seems like overkill, but even if it sees $40, the amount of money that I'm going to make is just absolutely insane. The IV on the options is going to be crazy for you option sellers. You'll be able to sell $15 puts when this thing's at 40. If Mara ends up running, right? If it ends up running up, shooting up to 34 and then down to like 20, and then those options, the IV is going to be through the roof. It's going to be a seller's dream. So lock and load over the next year. This is where I can make a lot of money. After that, my plan is to go short on BITO. We'll end this video here. Is to go short on BITO because they have a 40 to 50% dividend, right? Distribution, I should say, yield. So if BITO ends up seeing, let's see here, you know, if we end up seeing, if we end up coming up to 43 bucks, 44 bucks, which it could, on top of the fact that we're getting a 40% dividend, well, I'm going to have to start exiting my shares slowly. And I'm not going to do it based on price or resistance. I'm going to do it based on time. That's how I trade crypto. TA can fail. The time won't. The time has always been spot on, just about, with Bitcoin. I will start building a short position on BITO. They don't own Bitcoin. They own Bitcoin futures. And they rot. And it has rot due to the fact that it has a whopping yield and it's an ETN, not an ETF, connected to futures. So I will start short selling this at the end of 2025. Right around November, December of 2025, I will be building a short position going into 2026, and I will short the crap out of this thing. 2026, 2027 is no man's land. I don't know where, you know, the whole bond thing, the interest rate sensitive stocks, the crypto cycle, it may be kind of boring. Going to be scalping equities, you know, based on news and upgrades. But this is it. We're coming into, let's see if I can edit this here. I can't. Oh, wow. We're coming into a really good time to be in the market. I wish that would just connect. That's driving me nuts. Anyways, guys, long video here, and I rambled. I haven't had coffee. I'm out of it. Bear with me. I ranted a little bit too much. I vented. If you like this information, make sure to like, comment, and follow for more. Join the Discord. It's completely free.